school board in public for the purpose of conducting the school corporation's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. There may be time for public participation as indicated by agenda item or as directed by the president. Meeting site is fully accessible. Any person requiring further accommodation should contact the superintendent at the school corporation central office. The meeting will be electronically recorded and will be kept on file in the superintendent's office. A copy of the audio recording will also be available on the NLCS website. The website address is www.nlcs.k12.in.us. Go ahead and call the meeting to order. Let the record reflect that all members are present with Mr. Gerges via Zoom. Go ahead and rise and uncover, say the pledge. Ms. Collier, will you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 3, review for approval minutes and executive session memorandum in from November 18th, 2021, executive memorandum from December 2nd, 2021. Get a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second. Mr. Bennett makes the motion, Mr. Bailey seconds the motion. Questions on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same. Thank you. Item D, persons to address the board relative to the agenda. If you wish to make public comments on items relative to the agenda, if they've placed a comment card, it's a reminder of public comments. The board and administration will not be answering questions. There will be a 3-minute time limit. Don't have any?
Nope.
Moving on, item E, business services, claims and payroll since the last board meeting.
For, Mr. President, for payroll and claims, since our last board meeting, we had $4,769,707.79. So we are seeking your approval for the board, from the board for our claims and payroll since our last meeting.
Get a motion to approve.
So moved.
Mr. Lombrick makes the motion, a second.
Second.
Mr. Bailey seconds the motion. Questions on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same. Thank you. Item F, curriculum, Mrs. Dainton.
Just wanted to share as we wrap up the first semester, we recently got to have our elementary basketball again, something a little bit normal in the routine. And the Parkview girls were the champions and the Olytic boys. As well, at this time of the year, we've had many performances. Tonight, I believe, is Nemours' holiday performance, but Mr. Van Lindingham, are you gonna share? Yeah, we have a little preview of something that we'll share with everyone tomorrow, but just a wrap up of recordings of the performances throughout the district.
Oops.
Walker, Bailiff, Riley, Davis, Berkeley Alcorn, Attic Overton, presents, family. For Christmas, I really love the snow. You have a surprise. I want a camera for Christmas, a real cello. Yeah, but I'm not allowed to at my house. All my family get together. Probably a pet favorite.
My name is Adria Wagler.
Amelia Rich,
Kingston, Wendell John Schmidt.
Trenton Fleener.
Christmas, I love just spending time with my family and seeing my friends and playing out in the snow.
I love White Christmas.
Sledding with my uncle.
The snow and spending time with family.
Other than sports stuff, I didn't ask for much.
A PC.
A puppy, a Yorkshire Terrier. Clothes.
Honestly, I'm a dog lover, so I'd probably get as many dogs as I could.
Probably a PC.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Nice.
We shared with everybody, but it was time of year to showcase all the fine arts, and I know the teachers have been working hard to get those performances for students, so I'm excited to share that.
Maggie, do you have anything?
No,
Else? I got a question, I don't know if maybe you or Christie. I saw in the paper, I think it was last night, a young man, I think it was in Needmore as
Yeah.
well, that raised some money. Can you guys speak on that a minute? Thought
Yeah.
that was really, I meant to bring a good newspaper in there, and
yeah.
I can mention his name.
Yeah,
Susan shared a story.
yes, I can pull up the story. That was, his, initiative and his idea. Let me, pull up his name, cause I don't wanna get.
Maybe a Turner?
There's a first grade student in Needmore that was admitted to the hospital and, with an infection, and obviously, the staff wanted to help, but, Corina Irwin, that's the one. This is the one, right? Yeah. So,
Paisley is the
the child, yes. So they set up a friend set up the GoFundMe, but, the school shared with Needmore Families about the GoFundMe page, and when hearing the news a fifth grader, Tate Turner, who was featured in the story, wanted to help, and he gathered all of his coins that he had been saving for quite some time, collected them in a large container, and I think the picture is actually scrolling through too.
It's on there, yeah.
And he brought them to contribute to the fundraiser, so he brought in his kind of savings, all of his coins. And his coins totaled $335.72. And so, Mrs. Petty wanted to acknowledge him for his, kindness and giving spirit, and they have, do a lot with being kind at Need More too, and focusing on that, and so.
There he is.
Yeah, there he is, with his coins.
And then Johnny Junctions matched it.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that's what I was gonna
Yeah.
say. I just saw that, I thought it was
Yep.
really, you know, to be
Steve Jones at Johnny Johnson's, yeah, that
acknowledged
matched
for
it,
that,
yeah,
yeah, and then
absolutely.
Steve Jones matched it and,
Mm-hmm,
Came to school.
yeah,
Yeah,
and recognized it, yeah,
it was nice.
it is.
yeah.
It was nice, thank you guys, sorry to put you on the spot
No,
like that.
that's
but it
okay,
just
I
popped into my
just
head.
didn't wanna get any names wrong.
Okay, moving on, Mrs. Winzak.
Thank you, and you had an updated version of the personnel agenda, and I just present that, personnel agenda as listed for your approval.
Get a, motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Mr. Bailey makes the motion and a second.
Second.
Mr. Bennett seconds the motion. Questions on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item H, Mr. Mumble.
Next up, I have for the board the adoption of the 22-23 calendar. And if you so choose, we also did the 23-24. We did receive feedback. It obviously, was not as much as we had hoped or really spoke one way or the other. There was some, preferences one way or the other, for having the week off at Thanksgiving, and then there was some that the way our Christmas falls during this year and next year, it's not the 2 full weeks that we've taken off. So I think it was 9 school days we took off versus the 10 that kind of encompasses 2 full weeks. But, anyway, I present that to you this evening. It's basically what we changed is we're counting our, election days as virtual days, so we can count those days. And we will know when they are, and we can plan for it. And I think by getting to count those days every year, I know we reviewed our absenteeism at the high school primarily, and a little bit with our faculty and staff, on that Monday and Tuesday of that Thanksgiving week. It was, in the high 30s as far as, teachers out and some of our staff and stuff, and I know our attendance, was not the best, so that's why we chose those 2 days. However, we had tabled it in hopes of trying to provide you a little more information, but,
Didn't really,
we didn't get a whole lot of feedback, and really, the calendar did not, we didn't move spring break to a different week, or we didn't move fall break to a different week, and, or those types of things, so, it's somewhat the same, for the most part, and it's consistent with the other schools in our area.
so the question being now is to do 1 year or 2 years?
Correct.
I'd make a motion that we do both. I would prefer we just do 1 year at a time, since we are making some changes, we are going back a little bit earlier. We are doing a full week in November, at Thanksgiving, which is a couple weeks after fall break, and we don't have the 2 weeks, at Christmas, and we are doing the 2 full weeks between the last student day, actually more than 2 weeks, because the last student day and then, graduation. So things are a little bit different, so I prefer just to do 1 year, see if, I know had the opportunity to comment, but maybe a lot of people didn't know they could comment or didn't really, take the time to do that yet, so I would prefer, since we are making some changes, we just do 1 year.
Outside of Mitchell, who voted to do a 1-year the other sending schools, do we know if they have a 2-year?
Well, they've all of the sending schools have just done 1 year.
Okay.
And I did send our tentative agreement, or,
So
calendar
if we only
to
did
them.
one, we're not messing anybody up.
No, I think the only thing I was getting ready to say is I would probably bring it back to you. I mean, we would need to do this. I'd like to do it in October and get it approved, either in October or November, a little earlier, and we're not doing it in December.
You mean for the
For
following year,
next
we
year.
choose to go with?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the only reason I wanted to do both was to facilitate families making plans that require reservations in
But-
advance.
So that's the thing is, that's a good question is, if we're gonna vote for the next year in October, are you gonna know anything more than what we know now?
I don't know if people, once people actually see the calendar, like coming home with their kids and, have it more accessible, then perhaps we might get a little more comment on it, I don't know. I don't know how people knew they could comment. I know one time when you were on the board then, when we did this years ago, we had literally hundreds of comments, and I think all we had done